All right, welcome in everyone. We're going to be kicking off trial number 1 with Misery on the killer side. As we were talking about earlier, Ultra going to be taking up the Onryo and going to be facing off against Xeno, Laser, V1, and Arima for the survivors of Eviscerate. And Larry's to open it up is really just going to be something. We talked all about it in the campfire chat, but the coordination is just going to have to absolutely be insane if you want to be the ones to take the first set point here and get some sort of advantage before trial number 2. So Ultra is going to be starting things off, just sort of wandering around the corrupt area, going to try and get some spots out on some of the survivors here. Now, I have to say, it's really interesting that we're going to be seeing Save the Best for Last coming into play, which I'm sure the survivors are going to figure out very soon. We do see 2 of our survivors here, Xeno and Virtual, doubling up here, messing around with the flashlight, trying to get some cheeky blinds. Xeno taking the first chase of the trial here in this killer pallet room here. And this is honestly such a strong pallet. One of the stronger pallets on Larry's that isn't exactly a god pallet. And not going to be able to get the hit there, unfortunately. Ultra's going to have to break the resource and probably even just drop the chase here to check up on some of the active gens. But Xeno is still hovering between corrupt and non-corrupt gens, re-dropping pallets around the library just to prolong that initial chase. And I think this is exactly what you want to be doing on the survivors side at the start of the trial here, to just sort of delay as much time as possible.
No, yeah, I definitely do agree. However, Ultra is going to get that first hit now onto Xeno. Going to start off the trial a little bit fast. You know, Onryo, we typically see the first hit being delayed for so long, or, you know, body blocks being taken by those healthy survivors. However, I think Xeno has run so far into the corrupt now, or rather teetered on the edge, away from where the survivors could safely run generators near and away from that corrupt, that I don't think Xeno's going to have a body block ready for a long time. However, it seems like he's not going to be able to need that just yet, as we do see that pallet drop right now. And running to another one as well. Ultra's gonna have to try and play around this, but the window vault is gonna waste even more time. Now Ultra needs to try and get a hit with this Bloodlust, but if I was Xeno, I would be calling for a body block right now, and I'm expecting one of these survivors to be heading over as soon as we speak right now. But will it be enough? That's the question. Bloodlust 2 not able to get the hit just yet. Will get a vault and connecting it back to this vault we saw earlier, but Ultra with the mind game able to play out onto Xeno and gets the hit anyway. The down will come fast, but we have to keep in mind those generators the survivors are working on. There's the first one, and I would be expecting a couple more on the way as well.
Nearly running out for the full duration of the corrupt intervention here. Xeno doing a pretty good job in the first chase of the trial here, but getting hooked in the central part of the library here. We've just seen 2 more generators getting popped across the map. It's really going to come down to the wire with Ultra defending that top side of the map around where the hook is here, teleporting around, trying to get some, I guess, torment on some of the survivors, get some info as to who's close by and who is where. But I feel like that it's just become such a much more difficult position for Ultra to be in right now, given the gen split here, as he doesn't have the most optimal spread of gens across the main area, I would say.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very hard to defend those, but you have to keep in mind that Ultra does have a somewhat hold on the competition right now, as the survivors aren't going to have a lot of gen progress at this current moment. We saw Laser was preoccupied with trying to get the unhook onto Xeno. However, it seems like they're not going to go for it just yet. The 2-man save could be very crucial here. However, it seems like they're just going to let him go into struggle. That could mean, however, in the background that we're going to see the final 2 generators popping before a death even comes out. And if that is true, that would be huge for the team of Eviscerate. Set them up with a very good performance at the start. Ultra is going to leave as soon as Xeno hits that second stage. Now going to continue a chase as we see Xeno getting hooked onto Arima. Now the ace is going to be chasing around here. However, this is very safe. Ultra shouldn't be able to get a hit here unless a huge mind game comes out. We see an attempt, but Arima's not going to vault. Now the left, he's going to leave. He sees Laser, heard him working on the generator. That's going to be a hit now, but Arima is close by, could come in for a body block. Xeno also here, and we know Virtual will be nearby as well, working on the generators next to where Xeno got unhooked and the person who got Xeno unhooked. However, Ultra now going to switch targets back onto Xeno. This would be the death if it does come through. However, there is a pallet up. The Ultra is going to have to play around another one of these tiles. Once again, another generator popped on the side of Eviscerate. They're up to 8 points now, 4 generators done, and a death has not come out. However, Ultra should be able to get hit here now, but no, the whiff comes through. We do now see Xeno going back to the pallet, is going to be able to go around one more time. However, Ultra is going to just break it now as the body blocks are coming through. Ooh, another whiff. That's going to waste a couple precious seconds as Arima, instead of getting injured, will now make it to a pallet. However, that pallet's not going to save them from anything. The injured does come through, but Ultra now in a much more difficult spot when they could have had a kill.
Yeah, really, but it would have been crucial to get that kill onto Xeno, but Laser committing to the gen, even taking the down, just to ensure that that last generator pops, putting Eviscerate to 10. It's gonna get another fresh hook for Misery, though, bumping him up to 8. And this is the point where you really need to be crucial with your decision-making. Is it more worth for Ultra to try and hunt down a fresh hook here, especially onto Arima? Door's already open.
Yeah, it was 99 as the time that Ultra was just heading over there. The survivors were so efficient in being able to get that door open that Ultra really can't go over there and attack it. As we see the survivors now open it, they might go in for the save. However, they also don't really need to unless they get a heal onto Xeno. That's the only case that you would want another survivor going down. So it's gonna be a very, very risky play to go back for Laser. However, you do want to deny the 7 points that you would get from killing Laser, or rather 4 now, since the first 3 have already been applied, and only getting 2 onto Xeno would be a very, very nice point swing back into your favor. And it seems that with the resets, we might see that coming, but I just want to take a step back here, put it in reverse. This has been one of the fastest matches that we've seen. However, it doesn't seem like they're going to see Xeno going for the kill. They might just be greeting for the 4-man out here. Laser will hit second stage, however, making that a little bit less pleasing for that enemy team.
Yeah, it's really difficult with whether this rescue is really worth it or not, as we can see how far away the door... We do have a door close by to the hook, actually, now that I'm seeing here. This could possibly be happening, as we have seen Xeno getting reset across the way, but I'm not sure if the survivors know about Save the Best for Last yet. With 5 stats right now, Ultra can do a good job at defending the hook. Gets a hit onto Xeno. Virtual's going to be the one going for the unhook. He drops the flashbang, gets the blind, and Virtual is the one to take the last hit here to get rid of some of those stacks, make it a little bit more appealing to get the escape. But Laser, again, getting caught out at the main area here. One of the most unsafe outlets, but he wins it! He goes for the swing and misses. Ultra not getting those hits here. Gets the hit onto Arima right by the door. If he does catch Arima, that would be the fresh hook. I don't think he has enough distance to make it. He needs a body to get out. Here comes Laser.
Oh no!
Ultra can't make it in time. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4 all gonna be going out of that door. Jesus, holy, what an insane finish to a trial here. That's really not gonna be good for Misery kicking this off. Ultra definitely gonna be a bit upset about that, but the coordination from Eviscerate to pull that off right at the end is unbelievable.
Yeah, getting 2 fresh hooks out the door, that's going to give you 6 points. Then the last 2 on the death hook, that's 2 more points for you, bringing our total now up to 18 Eviscerate to 10 for Misery. Not the performance that you want to see on the Onryo, and we could have saw a huge point swing in the opposite direction if Ultra was able to land that hit onto Arima there at the end, but Laser just able to use his hitbox, abuse it in the best way to move the killer to the side, but not take a hit at the same time. Able to get the best result possible, I think, in that situation because of that, and a huge play to say the very least.
Oh my goodness, I'm still just in shock after the end of that trial. All the little parts of the motor there to make everything work, having which survivor going for the unhook. I believe they sent in Virtual to get that unhook, who was the obsession to get rid of as many stacks of Stabiffle as possible, and then just having all the survivors in the right place at the right time to take those hits to get out the door. Unbelievable stuff. We're gonna have to see how Misery is gonna respond to that. On the survivor side, Eviscerate going to be taking up the Onryo to try and beat the current score of 18 to 10 in their favor. So we'll have to find out right after the quick break. All right, welcome back, everyone. Just coming down from an insane trial where we saw Eviscerate 4-outing Ultras Onryo on the Larrys, and now Misery have to take on the survivor role here up against Xeno's Onryo, once again on the Larrys, with an 8-point difference to the scores at the moment. They're really going to need to have a real impeccable game if they're going to be able to secure this first set point. We saw that Ultra was really unable to get some hooks very early on into the trial, which really was what seemed to be his downfall. So we'll have to see how Xeno does it differently this time. Is he going to be able to get an earlier hook and then be able to snowball from there? We're just going to have to wait and see here. We are not going to be seeing Corrupt Intervention this time around. I guess Xeno's going to be playing around for that win condition. Also with the endgame sort of build going on here to try and secure those deaths later on in the trial if needs be. So not quite finding anyone as of just yet, but looking over towards the opposite side of the map here, trying to find some active generators and get a nice early chase going. We do spot Angels though in this room here by this rather unsafe filler, I will say, regardless of the ping. This isn't the ideal palette you want to be starting off at. And as we can see, Xeno is going to be taking that hit quite early on. Again, another save the best for last pick from our Onryos here. It definitely seems to be like the real choice to go for here. So let's see if Xeno is going to be able to get some good distance here onto Angels, cutting them off around these tiles here, forcing them to this pallet by the exit door here. Is he going to win the mind game though and get the down early on? This would be exactly what Eviscerate needs, and he does secure it very early into the trial. And Angels on the other side of that pallet there, really tasting that one. That will be a very early hook for Xeno here, and this will definitely make things a lot more comfortable for Eviscerate.
Yeah, you know, with the win condition only being 4 hooks, it's definitely going to be very comfortable. You might even just opt to, you know, camp Angels out here and find a fresh hook, and that would be the win forthright. So, you know, it's going to be very easy for Xeno to come back here, especially, as you said before, with this in-game oriented build. That Noed especially is definitely going to have a huge impact on this match. I am forthright seeing that in the future right now. But the real question is whether or not these survivors are going to be able to get the generators done fast enough to even activate that Noed there in the later half of the game. We see Xeno just going to be camping around, or rather, as Barn would put it, strategically positioning themselves around Angels right now, as we see Ultra and Zaphis working on gens, as well as Lusty, none of them going in for the save. However, look at those percentages. Not all of them are close to being completed. That means that the efficiency of the survivors right now isn't what you really need in this situation, because Angels already about to hit the second stage. I only would expect 2 of those generators popping before Xeno is able to hit into that second stage. There's one. A second one should be coming soon. Angels already in that second phase, and Xeno already putting the pressure onto somebody else with applying that status effect. Now gets onto Ultra. Xeno knows Ultra is nearby, gets the info off of that, and is able to interrupt the save. 2 generators are done, but Angels is getting closer and closer to death.
As the Australian representative here, I would say that this tactical waiting is definitely paying off, as I don't really see Angels getting off the hook here. We have only seen 2 gens getting completed here, potentially a third coming through soon, but things are really not looking good for Misery here, as losing a survivor this early on. There's gen number 3, as we were just talking about, but losing Angels now would really be detrimental to Misery's progress here, as the next down would result in pretty much the loss of Misery here. We get the firecracker through, doesn't get the blind. We are going to get the down onto the near here. Lusty going to be going up onto the hook, and then we're going to be seeing some strategic targeting onto Angels, trying to get away from this hook here.
Yeah, but here's the real question right now, right? Xeno can sit on Lusty and get the win if he wants to. So Misery has to take a huge risk by going in for that save on 2 Angels. You know, they don't want to really play around the Noed in the endgame. The great hit by Zaphis right there, but I just want to point out, Lusty being on hook here is actually a huge risk for Misery right now, because they have to get the save before they hit that second stage, and it looks like they're going to be able to do it. However, with Angels injured nearby, that's going to be the 4th hook, and all we need right now is 1 more hook after this that would set it sailed for Misery here in this matchup. So that's really the question right now, is whether the survivors are able to finish those 2 generators and get out through Noed. And it seems like with that 1 generator already popping right now, they might be on their way to do that. However, Xeno's not going to go down without a fight. They're going to be trying to interrupt these gens. We hear one being worked on to our left. We see the stretch marks as well. However, no survivor found it just yet. We do now see Saphis running away early. Xeno's not going to take it. Instead, staying around these generators. We are seeing a very, very split generator setup, but Xeno should be able to play around them with their excellent map mobility that Sadako rather, sorry, allows for in this matchup.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to say this, though. Misery does still potentially have a chance here, but not if you're going to be doing this. Ultra getting the reverse pallet stun and is going to be taking that hit. We are going to be losing some survival stacks here, but Ultra needs to not go down here. We can't allow any more hook stakes for Eviscerate if Misery wants to be taking the first set point. We see the call of Brian going off on this generator. Some good skill checks are being hit. We know it's being worked on. Here's Zaphis going to be trying to take the chase away from the gen. We also have Lusty not too far away as well, also injured. But it really doesn't matter. There's not going to be... Oh my gosh! Xeno getting those hits through the pallet. Oh, Zaphis ain't going to be happy about that one. But no one can get hooked here in order for Misery to win here, as we've been mentioning here. So taking the down, depending on the number of stages left, isn't really going to be an option. And as Zaphis goes down here, I think this is going to spell out the victory for Eviscerate here, as this will be hook stage number 5 with more to come afterwards. So unfortunately, Misery just not being able to recover from such a devastating start coming up from Xeno for Eviscerate.
You know, if we did see the down onto Rima there in that previous match where Ultra was playing killer, I think this would have been a much different game, as, you know, Misery isn't playing bad at all. You know, they definitely have an opportunity to get 3 people out of the door right here, but it's still just not going to be enough. And Xeno is still in a position with that Noed to potentially get even more kills. Zaphis on the hook right now. Angels is going to be dead. Lusty getting reset, and Ultra, I would guess, is now going to start working on a generator. However, it's too little too late. Xeno has already won out this matchup, and really what the survivors need to do now is try and consolidate their pressure, because they're going to be playing Survivor immediately back-to-back on the Wraith set after this match concludes.
Yeah, it's going to be one stealth killer into the next, and if you're sick of Larry's, then get ready for Midwich. I'm sure this really will take very much so of a toll on the survivors, as there's nothing more frustrating as playing against a stealth killer on an indoor map. So as the second stage comes through onto Zaphis, it's hook stage number 6 for Xeno here. The unhook does happen. We are yet to see that final gen popping just yet, as Xeno is doing an impeccable job and going around and checking up on all of these gens before any of them can get fully completed, and that call of Brian is just doing an absolute number on the engines here.
Yeah, definitely. You know, one thing I want to mention, though, is when we can see the save onto Zaphis right now, that's going to mean that they're going to be in a very vulnerable position and allows Xeno to go in and get that. However, the reset, like we saw right now, is going to mean that they're not going to be working on those generators. And as you put it, Call of Brian is going to destroy those generators, meaning the survivors are now in a very, very difficult situation. Even though they should be in a powerful one right now, they're going to be very much on the back foot. Xeno is going to take the chase, goes for the hit onto Lusty, isn't able to hit it. He's like Dyer put yesterday, not from the moon. He's still of this world, not able to get those. But Ultra, the killer, who I would argue is from the moon, will be going into the next chase right now against Xeno. Xeno's not going to go for the hit there. Instead, now just going to try and wrap around this. However, this window is relatively strong. It just comes down to a couple mind games, however, though, and Xeno is going to be able to get those onto Ultra now, resulting in the hit. We do see that another generator is being worked on, and oh my god, not even looking around the corner, we see Xeno go for the M1 through the window, and if it's a medium vault, it lands. That rings true, as Ultra is going to be put inside of the basement.
I feel like you really want to retract the last 2 minutes of statements, Cannell, because that was just the most textbook perfect medium vault window hit this gen once again going to be reapplied with Call of Brian. Unfortunately, we aren't going to be seeing as much save the best for last value here, but at this point of the trial, it really does not matter. Xeno has already met the win condition and is really just going for more here. Very audacious with these swings here. Zappa's playing it nice and greedy with these chases here, knowing he does have this window to loop back around to, and then again back to the pallet, so we should be able to see a nice juicy chase from Zappos right now, sort of similar to what we saw yesterday. Wins the mind game once again and just gets back to the window for free. Oh, wait a minute.
You see now the hit onto Zappos, and we're going to continue in the chase. No, instead going to leave. Go back to the generators. We do see this one close to popping. Lusty should be somewhere nearby, but ooh, instead of finding Lusty's scratch marks, we find Zappos'. So Xeno immediately going to head back over to where they last saw the survivors. Finds two of them. Ultra being reset. Xeno's going to pick up the chase now onto them. However, I think that's a little bit of a lucky break there coming through. Going to be able to get rid of those scratch marks and leave Xeno off the trail if they're able to use these walls correctly, but it seems like it's ran out, and now the scratch marks have concluded once again. Xeno's going to be on their back, and this should be the down coming soon, unless there's a pallet right here, and it seems there are, but will we see a moon hit? No, just a regular mind game into the back right there onto Ultra. Now the hook should come through. That's going to be the second one for Ultra, and again, putting the position onto Misery Survivors as you're going to have to play back-to-back right here. All you want right now is just a good mental game, and getting last gen done is going to start setting you up for that. Ooh, and avoiding the no-ed onto Lusty right there. We saw Lusty running towards Xeno at the last second, but the teleport unluckily means Xeno will go cross-map from that. Now returning, but has lost Lusty in the meantime.
Yeah, no, that's really unfortunate, and I'm not too sure if Xeno realized that at the last second or not as well. Definitely will be molding about that a little bit, but how angry can you really be at such an impressive Onryo performance with already 8 stages, with a 9th looking very likely, and only a 2 out for the survivors if they were to just go for the door, but they do go for the unhook onto Ultra. Xeno's going to check up on these doors to see if they're ready to go, and it doesn't. Oh, it looks like we do have Lusty here. It's going to get down to no end. No, didn't go straight at the door. Wanted to add the extra little bit of BM, but is going to get punished for that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, look, I think the recent killer study that shows Sadako having the highest kill rates is very accurate when you see Xeno on the killer here. So maybe this is just a wake-up call. Oh no! Ultra's gonna get caught out by the door here, not being ready to go.
A 4 out into a 4K, that would be insane.
There's the potential for it. Xeno can teleport straight back to this door. He swings to make sure the unhook doesn't happen. We did see scratch marks for just a second here. Xeno has now picked up the trail again. Oh, we're going to see a survivor running the lookup. But Zappos is also going to get caught by the door. And what should have been a 2-man out at the very least has turned into a 4K. The stats are going to go up and Twitter is going to be crying.
This is why behavior put him at the top of the charts. Even at the top of the MMR, we see that Xeno is going to be coming out with a 4K after Eviscerate got a 4 out on the Onryo here. Going to definitely give Eviscerate a lot of confidence. And if I'm Misery right now, I'm going to be concerned with what this is going to do to my mental. They need to calm down, go into the next set like none of this even happened, and just play out of their minds to try and combat the insane game that we just saw from Xeno right here. Going to be putting Eviscerate at 46 to Misery's this first set. That's going to be a score that you're not going to be proud of if you are Misery. However, you have to keep in mind that there are going to be a lot of opportunities for them to come back here in this next Wraith set. So they might have lost the round, but they have not lost the war just yet. And we could see a comeback very, very soon. And we'll see if that is going to be the case after a very short break.
All right, welcome on back, everyone, to arguably my favorite part of the night. Well, for me, the morning, but the Wraith set, where we're going to be seeing Eviscerate once again on the killer side to kick things off. And who else but Xeno to take upon the role of slaughtering the survivors of Misery, where again, we're going to be seeing Angels, Lusty, Zappos, and Ultra as their respective characters up against the Philip Ajomo on Midwich. So it's definitely going to be very, very interesting. I have seen a decent amount of Wraith on mid-witch. It definitely can be really, really tricky.
Ooh!
So it's not surprising that we are going to be seeing some aura revealing perks from some of our survivors here. And speaking of, Zaphis with the windows of opportunity. It's going to be the first one in chase, but the head on. It's just so textbook, and it's so free for Lusty. Getting that early pressure denied as much as possible. But did they make it to the window? Ain't happening. Is not happening, and now you're just zoned to such a terrible part of the map. So probably in hindsight, not the greatest thing that we're going to be seeing. The pre-drop on the pallet and the value from the add-on. You see people when cloaked. That's it. It's purple. All seen blood. That's the one. Yeah. I main Wraith, by the way, guys. But that's going to be a really, really early hook for Xeno, which is to be more or less expected. But even on a map like Midwich, you can get some really, really safe loops inside some of these rooms. So we'll have to see what kind of RNG our survivors from Misery are going to be working with here, and let's see how they handle this one.
On top, going to be able to see him there. However, the missed skill check as well would have told us that anyway. Ultra going to be found out. Needs that skill check practice after this match, but for now, we're going to see how they're going to be able to do in these chases. Oh, Xeno going for an insane hit is able to get it. The drop does come through, but it's about 3 seconds too late. You know, I think I am going to take back that moon statement right there. Xeno has shown us some incredible things here today, but now going on to the next pallet, Ultra is going to learn from his mistakes, instantly drop that. In the meantime, we did see the unhook come on into Lusty. However, Xeno is going to be able now to get the down onto Ultra. Ultra expected the double back, but Xeno didn't come for it. But, ooh, oh no. We just saw it in the match, Steph. If you guys want to take a look onto your screen right now on Angels, we see Guardian. That's going to be a banned perk. So, going on to a reset now, we're going to see Misery starting off with a -2. That's not going to be what you're going to want going into the second set. Definitely going to spell a bit of a disaster for them. However, we'll see if they're able to manage and come back after another. And keep it there with me. This one's gonna be short for real. A very short break.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Apologies for that little hiccup there. Unfortunately, Misery is going to be taking a -4 penalty as opposed to a -2. Oh, there was the banned perk, but there's also been Misery accumulating 4 black cards throughout the duration of the tournament. And as we aren't going to be disqualifying in these stages of the event, it will be an additional -2 penalty, adding up to a total of -4 going into this trial. So Misery are definitely going to be a lot more on their toes and on their feet, knowing that with this penalty, they're going to have to play absolutely out of their minds here. And now Zeno has already picked up on the scratch marks of one of our survivors, and this time it's going to be Lusty taking up the first chase here. And if I had to guess, if Lusty is the head-on player, we aren't going to be seeing any more early head-ons here. We are going to be able to get the hit through the pallet, though. Not going to be able to win that one. Zeno is just an unstoppable force here. And he's just oh no!
Okay.
He does manage to get the stun. You had me scared.
I was scared too. That was so surprising that we was actually able to go in and get the stun. But Zeno's not going to be from the moon just yet. Going to stay on the Earth a little while longer. Maybe even going to Mars later. However, as we see the next chase start on to Ultra, will we see another hit through the pallet? No. Instead, Ultra going to throw it down on the wrong side. That's going to result in a hit. Zeno, however, not going to continue the chase. First, going to kick this generator with Call of Brine, trying to regress it as much as possible. In the next coming seconds, we see the aura letting us know which direction Ultra ran, not wasting any seconds trying to decide where that goes or track those scratch marks. Zeno now just going to kick this wall, gets a little bit of distance, however, Ultra will, but not enough to get away. This pallet is all they're going to have to play around. However, now going back to the window, a great loop back in on themselves. That's going to be a great position for them now to be in. However, Zeno should be able to get a mind game off, and now the down will come through. A quick down once again. We saw that at the beginning of the last match, and another one will come through here. However, the survivors have a little bit more time to work on those generators. I expect a couple to pop at this stage in the game, honestly.
Yeah, going for that head-on play in the last trial from Misery was fun in games and all, but I feel like it did really cost them that early hook onto Lusty, whereas in this trial, we're going to be seeing that our survivors have had a bit more time to work with when it comes to getting gens done. Zeno's not going to be able to make it around to block that pallet as of just yet, and I have to say, it is quite interesting to see a Wraith without any Shadow Dance add-ons, especially on a map like Midwich. Not going to be able to get the grab at the hook. It will just be a 1-for-1, getting the tag onto Lusty, but instead he's going to be going straight back for Ultra to get him out of the trial as quickly as possible here, which is exactly what you want to be doing. And here we have Angels coming in, taking a body as well to delay that chase. Gen number 1 has popped, and are we going to see number 2, G'day?
Yeah, it's going to be the question. Zeno now going to go again back on to Ultra. The downs have been coming back faster and faster, but Ultra not able to make any more distance means that is going to be able to keep up. I was going to say maybe the pallet will save him, but at this point, I shouldn't even consider the pallet's an option on the map right now, as Ultra will take another down. The second hook is going to come through. However, the survivors should have a little bit more time to work on those generators. That's really the question right now. You want to keep up the efficiency as much as possible. With that -4, that means that you're relatively behind 2 whole generators. Only a 4K at 3 generators if you get 4K at 0.
Oh, no.
Like, no. Zaf is being bullied, stuck in the corner as Zeno intimidates him away and now takes the injure onto him, going to go to another pallet. However, this should be easy for Zeno to try and get a windstorm out there, but no, not close enough, not able to get that hit just yet. Zeno goes for another swing. He's just swinging through all the pallets at this point, but decides to leave this time, trying to go and interrupt the save onto Ultra, because as we should point out, everyone is injured right now. Zeno, with that information add-on as well, will know where the survivors are and know who to pressure, and as we say that, Angels gets found, but Zeno not able to cross the gap just yet, with his internet going to now have to return back to Ultra as Angels is going to head downstairs. Ultra should be taking the death here as the survivors get one more generator done. However, it's not going to be enough at this stage as Ultra is already out of the game.
And not only is Ultra out of the game, G'day, but all of our survivors are currently injured. Unless we see some resets happening. Zeno is just swinging at the voices here. Yui gonna last a little bit longer and is gonna go down here with the only other 2 survivors in the trial being injured. Zeno's gonna capitalize on that and try and get some sort of a slug play going here. We see Zappis exactly where he left him, back at this exact same pallet. He greeds it and Zeno falls for it. This loop, I feel like, is just too long for Zeno to be able to make a flick Wraith play here, as with the changes, I wouldn't say recent, it was quite a while ago where his lunge got decreased a little bit, but it's just really goes to show you can't flick around these types of loops anymore, Zeno. You really just got to let that pallet drop happen. It is inevitable, as we are probably going to be seeing the pickup onto Angels across the map in just a moment here.
But in the meantime, Zaphis will go down. Zeno celebrating his hits here. He's been a demon on these lunges. But, as you were saying earlier, Zaphis was able to do a little bit of juicing, able to go around that tile a little bit more and more. Zeno not able to get the flashy play that he wanted. And now it seems, however, that he's just going to be trying to slug, trying to prevent the survivors from ever going for a reset or ever working on these generators. Might be a smart play, as honestly, if Zeno can get the 4K right now, that would mean that the survivors would have 0 points at all. No place to stand. A maximum only 28 could come out, and the down onto Lusty means that that is going ever closer. This might be the lowest scoring event we've seen from a team if we do see the 4K coming out here right now. Zaphis will get picked up by Angels. In the meantime, Zeno's going to hook Lusty this time instead of slugging. The survivors should have not have had any time to work on these generators, and now Zeno trying to use his add-on to locate the remaining two. They're probably going for a reset, probably trying to hide. Maybe one of them's in a locker, but ooh, we see Zaphis and Angels getting found. The hit onto Angels will come through, but Zaphis now going to be fully healed. Zeno's going to try and zone them away from this pallet. They should still be around here. However, Zeno seems to have lost exactly where they are on the positioning right now. Ooh, but we do now find them in this pallet. Zeno should be able to get a hit around this if they're playing it correctly, but no, Zaph is able to read him out and gets the read, runs to the pallet, not even going to greed for the drop, but now goes for it and will get the stun, continuing the chase. Now on to Zaphis. The world rests on his shoulders as Lusty seems to be hitting second stage pretty soon.
Oh my goodness, Zaphis is actually really redeeming themselves here with this chase here, playing these pallets so beautifully, knowing when to drop the pallet, when not to. Just look at the greed from this beautiful Nancy running around these tiles here. Still no pallet drop just yet. He knows that Zeno isn't going to be going for that hit just yet until the Bloodlust comes into play. And here it is. We get the tag onto Zaphis. We get the pickup, most likely, onto Angels. It doesn't even come through. The shift key was not. Oh, I don't think so, G'day. I'll be completely honest with you. In this position, when you've got your Philip over on the other side, I think he just gave it the opportunity to go for the pickup, but have to break that pallet, force Zaphis to go through to this other pallet here, which has already been dropped, and there is the down. A 4K at 3 generators remaining. Only 2 got completed, and with that point penalty onto Misery as well, all that Eviscerate has to do is to pop a gen to meet the win condition.
Yeah, it's going to be next to impossible for Misery to win this next set. Zaphis going to get hooked, Angels as well, meaning that we won't even see the bleed out roll coming into play here. Zeno going to be able to get the full 28 points as long as he's able to make that hook. But I want to mention something, Spoker. You gave up hope right there at the last second, and I think that made Zaphis do it too. He looked at the killer and was just gave him the mercy.
Oh no!
I think you ruined the vibes, man. I'm going to be honest. You ruined the vibes. We could have seen the pickup onto Angels, I believe, but still, Zeno going to get the full 28 points, and Misery not able to score a single point in this round. And like you said, only one generator now needs to be popped for Eviscerate to come in here and get the win for their survivors. Zeno standing in the circle of sacrifice after he prayed to the gods to get this result right now, I bet.
All right, we get it. Someone like Silent Hill, huh? But I feel like Zeno probably wouldn't have been able to make it to the hook, having to drop and break the breakable wall. Mid-witch hooks can really be a very interesting thing with how they spawn. But that aside, the 4K has been secured. Zeno is practicing trying to actually lunge over this hole where he got clipped here just earlier. Yeah. All right, he's flushed himself down the drain a couple times here. We're gonna run it back, see if he gets it this time. Not quite. It's literally just like a pixel I don't think you could even do it as Wraith coming from that angle. You have to be like just so well lined up to be able to lunge over here. But let's see if Xeno can pull it off before Misery gets eliminated here. He did go for the he did try to J flick it there, hey.
The J flick and Ochino. Ooh, we see a wide angle there, going to be able to get around that way. But Angels is going to be off in the atmosphere. I was going to say atmosphere, netherworld, whatever you want to say there. Going to go away. But like we've been saying so far, 28-0. Essentially, Misery just got 4K'd at 5 gens. No generators completed, essentially by that point penalty. Because of that, that is going to be a huge, huge win condition for Misery. Next to impossible, if not already impossible. But we'll see if the impossible is able to happen after a short break.
All right, it could all come down to this. We just saw an insane 4K at 3 gens remaining from Eviscerate, but with the penalty, 4K at 5, basically. We need to see Ultra getting the 4K before a single generator can even pop. And that's just a 4-set tie condition as well. This is a near impossible win condition for Misery, but we can't rule them out just yet. We are going to be seeing Xeno, Laser, Virtual, and Oya on the Survivor side once again here. We didn't see Oya in the last games, though, so subbing in for the Wraith games here. Now, Ultra is going to be starting off by checking out the Corrupt side of the map, and a quick find onto Xeno and Laser as well. We see a bit of a different choice in add-ons here. Plus 10 wood to the head. And Xeno just going to sit there and pick the pellet back up in exchange for the hit.
Yeah, a strong man there. Going to go for the any means necessary, even though no means were necessary. Ultra going to try and find somebody else. It looks like Xeno has run off, however, hiding his aura away from Ultra, not able to be inside of his radius. We do, however, find another one there. That's going to be Oyer now on the chase against Ultra here. We're going to see them around this loop. I already saw Xeno playing again and again. Ultra tries to go for the fake swing, but it's not going to fool Oyer just yet. We're going to see them go around once again. Will they go for the stun this time? Yes, they will. Will they drop into the hole, though? That's the question. No, instead they're going to try and take distance away up onto the upper floor. However, this should result into hit onto Ultra if Ultra is able to play this around correctly, but no, instead just going to go around it and break it. Once again, trying to play safe here instead of risky, not waste as much time as possible. As you know, only one generator needs to be completed for Eviscerate to win this, and win this in a very stylish fashion, to say the least. Now going to go on to the chase floor here. Ooh, are we going to see the hit? However, yes, we are. No way for Oyer to try and go against that. However, Ultra going to opt to drop down and find 2 survivors, Xeno and Laser. Laser is going to be interrupted going towards this relatively safe 2-pallet scenario. However, Ultra able to get the hit onto Laser, and Laser made no distance. He should be going down here pretty soon.
We are going to see that strong pallet drop, though. Are going to be able to last a little bit longer here. Maybe even go back to that clock tower to utilize both of the pallets that we have sitting behind there. And yes, that's exactly what we're going to be seeing happening. And Ultra is just not going to bother. This gen has a little too much progress for his liking. Going to get the hit onto Xeno. Now, win condition being 4K5, you need to really be pounding away at these generators. And with the build that we're going to be seeing from Ultra, it's really going to complement that. Now, I really do have to question the pick of the Windstorm here for Ultra to get that extra mobility while in cloak, and he gets the Flick Wraith hit onto Laser. Flick Wraith confirmed. I'm happy. I could die a happy man. And we're going to be seeing the hook happening. Are we going to get a Scourge hook at this point in the trial? I know mid-witch hooks can be quite unbearable, but is this going to be a Scourge? Yes, it is. We are going to be taking the chase straight back onto Xeno as well. Hopefully, though, Ultra's going to be able to get around the map a bit here. We are going to get the DMS proc onto this generator here as well that Oya has been working on here to try and at least allow as much gen blocking as possible. And Ultra is really just going to show that he is not out for the count just yet, getting these beautiful, beautiful hits. But unfortunately, the first and only necessary gen has popped. We aren't going to get the down onto Xeno just yet here. But with that being said and done, that is Misery out for the count, but not out for the trial. They are still obviously going to play it out, and we're going to see some really cool stuff coming out from Ultra.
You know, I was about to say, we have 3 survivors injured. Imagine a 4-man slug at 5 gens. That would have been insane to see. However, though, Eviscerate's not going to give us to it today. Instead, they're going to give us a hit through a pallet. Ultra going to be trying to rival Xeno in the previous match here. Xeno, as for mentioned, is going to be picked up across the map. However, all survivors are going to be injured, meaning that Ultra can try and get a snowball here. And even if we get the 4K at 4, the 4-man slug, I think it's still enough. We should give him the bonus points just for that, I think. But instead, Virtual is going to go down. Oyer is reset, and now Virtual is going to take the next hook. Oyer trying to probably reset Xeno at the time here. I would call that the best play. Oh, it's not even just Xeno, it's also Laser. All 3 of them were next to each other. Xeno now going to take a little bit of a body block, but just going to play against the God Palette. Ultra goes for the fake uncloak, and it's going to work out. Xeno drops it, but now, yeah, he's going to try to close the distance between himself and Laser. The question is whether or not he's going to be able to get the hit onto the pallet once again, and ooh, the Flick Wraith comes out once again, and Laser will go down once again to it. It's too strong right now. We really need to nerf Wraith. I think if I'm behavior, that's the #1 priority on my line right now.
I'm gonna say no.
Oh, really?
Please leave him alone. You've already ruined my van enough. He's already been brutally annihilated in the past couple of patches. The add-on that we've been seeing a lot from both of our killers here, the All-Seeing Blood, I believe it's called, did get a nerf a couple of months ago, if I'm not mistaken. And just look at the value we've been getting from it this game, getting that down onto Virtual right there. But previously, it was a 12-meter radius for the aura reading, and I think now it's only 8 meters. So they did do a bit of a change there. They have killed Flick Wraith over the years, but I feel like Wraith, where he is right now, is probably in one of the most balanced spots that he's been in a while. Just a little bit less enjoyable for, you know, all the Philippa Jomo enjoyers. But with how Ultra has been performing in this game so far, even though they can no longer win the set point, we do get the For the People coming out from Xeno, though. Very lovely stuff. But I feel like that... Ultra, you gotta stop, man. This is just unreal. To get a 4K at 4 gens remaining would still outperform Xeno's Wraith in the last trial, with the point penalty being the only real differential. So I guess for morale, that would be a nice moral victory for, you know, for Misery.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see Xeno take the down. Ultra, however, not going to go for the hook just yet. Again, like we saw Xeno earlier, trying to go for the slug to slow down the game of the survivors from working on the generators. We do find Laser, who's going to be injured. That's going to be another down. Should come out here pretty soon. Ooh, but another generator will pop in the meantime. Laser going to take the down. Both him and Xeno on the floor. We see the pickup now probably from Virtual, as Oyer was definitely the one to complete that generator previously. Right now, we're going to see the hook come through, but the real question is whether or not Misery is going to be able to stop Eviscerate survivors from passing what they did previously in this matchup. A 4K at 3 would at least tie this round, and I think, again, be a very, very good moral comeback here for the killer, and a very good position for them to be in.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's been a really, really tough set of trials for Misery here, going up against Eviscerate, but that being said, we can't ignore how well Ultra has been playing in this trial here. We have already seen 2 gens popping, with the potential for a 3rd to be coming through, as well as we do have Virtual healthy right now. Xeno probably going to be getting reset pretty soon as we get the down onto Oya in this upstairs part of the map, which, if I'm not mistaken, the hook spawns aren't that great up here. We do have this hook inside the room just here, though. Whether it's a Scourge hook or not, we're going to have to just wait and see. I think our survivors are smart enough to know to preemptively hop off those generators, but the Deadman switch still comes through. I don't know if that was from the pain res or whether or not we are going to be catching Virtual here, though. I feel like it would have been a lot nicer if we did find Xeno, but we do have that information from the other proc of Deadman switch. So we are getting the hit onto Virtual, potentially going to be able to go for a double slug here and get a 4K at 3 gens as well.
Yeah, this would be a good result for Misery, like we're saying, a moral win here, as Eviscerate has taken these sets away from Misery, and we'll move on to the losers finals against Eternal right after this matchup. So that's going to be very exciting to look forward to. We're going to see Virtual, however, in the meantime, going to be trying to juice Ultra on this pallet, going around and around, but Ultra able to catch them out. This should be the down now. Virtual on the floor, Oyer on the hook, Xeno injured. This is looking like it could be a 4K at 3 generators, but Xeno is the only person to try and potentially stop that. If this is Pain Res, this could be huge if Xeno is working on generator, but no, Xeno instead doing Xeno things is gonna hide in a locker.
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you, it's definitely not a play that I hate entirely, as it would have been very difficult to rotate around to go for any potential rescues. Virtual being elimination number 2. I doubt we're going to be seeing a rescue onto Oya either. We are going to be seeing elimination number 3, and now it's just going to be a standoff for who's going to get the hatch here. Xeno was in a locker at the upstairs part of the map, if I'm not mistaken, so whether or not he goes for a mad run for it to get the hatch or positions himself by a door, we're going to have to wait and see. Ultra, with that windstorm, though, is going to be able to maneuver around the map at a much more rapid pace and potentially find that hatch before Xeno does. Xeno gets caught out over by this exit door and gets blocked before being able to make it to the pilot, and that's going to be the down, and once again, a 4K at 3 gens. So Misery being able to match the performance of Eviscerate, with the penalty being the only thing that held them back from earning a set point.
This is why you double check your workloads, everybody, okay? You don't want to end up in this situation where now Ultra, after this insane performance, is still going to leave today empty-handed, not able to get a win against Eviscerate and force the tiebreaker into the dredge set. Instead, now Eviscerate will move forward, as I said previously, into the match with Eternal, which is going to be very, very exciting to see. I think the survivors of Eternal are already in their voice chats right now, so we should be getting back with that. And right now, let's tally the final score. That is going to be 32-28. A very, very, not significant point difference there for both the sides. The 4 points being the only difference because of that penalty. It's really going to be heartbreaking for Misery. However, they've done a great job in this event so far, and as we say goodbye to them, we're going to move on to a very, very exciting match of Eviscerate, one of the aforementioned top teams here in the scene, versus Eternal.